Pat, do you mind if I take a leak? I'm not doing very good here. I think I took too much metformin. I got to take a leak.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We're looking ahead to the weekend and making the best bets: the gold, the silver, the bronze. Cam Stewart on the line, as is Rob Pizzola, who had a very interesting Monday evening in studio with Jeff Feinberg. I saw the supercut of Jeff's emotional reactions to the Chargers and Ravens. Was it everything you expected?
It was. It really was. I didn't know what to expect, though. That was the real challenge, because he told me going in that he was going to take it easy. Chargers are playing with house money. I don't care about the game all that much. That changed within 2 minutes, which is exactly what I did expect. Yeah, classic Jeff. He was a little calmer, though. I expected more pacing around, because I watched a football game. The last Chargers game I watched with him was maybe 12 years ago at the Sports Center Cafe, if you remember that place, Cam, that we used to.
I do.
We used to go to.
Great wings.
And Jeff used to pace nonstop during those games, but he sat in a chair. I think the amount of marijuana that he consumed
That's it.
also contributed, but it was a great experience. It was really good. He was a good sport about it too. It didn't get uncomfortable in any way, which I was really worried about for a lot of that stream.
That's really good on weed. You know what it is, Pat? Some guys get too tired or whatever. Know what he is? Perfect blend.
Happy. He gets very happy.
Yeah, he gets very jolly and just
Yes.
kind of who gives a shit about anything? I'm stoned.
I've watched 2 Chargers games with Jeff ever. One was 2 months ago in Montreal when they were on while we were at the President's Cup, and that was kind of hilarious. And the first time was a Thursday night. It was a Manning Denver game against the Chargers on Thursday night. We all went to the Dogs Bullocks after work to go watch this game. He normally wouldn't come out, but he did for that one, and he ended up leaving without paying the bill. He got so mad.
I've done that a few times.
He didn't realize it, but he wasn't smoking. He probably was smoking a ton of weed that night, but he was drinking a bunch that night too. And it wasn't the happy Jeff; it was the angry Jeff because they were losing.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, the second half kind of fell apart, and it was starting to get real quiet in that room. I was trying to bolster his spirits a little bit. It got a little depressing in the fourth quarter, I will say. But you know what? He came in with a very positive, optimistic view of Chargers are way ahead of where I expected them to be at this point. It'd be nice to win, but it's not the end of the world if we didn't. And he actually really stuck true to that, which was nice. It was like a funeral in the fourth quarter, but it was not uncomfortable, I would say.
Well, before we get into the recap of how we did last week, I want to let you know if you use code MAYO right now at Underdog, you get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000, and you get yourself a free pick for the weekend as well. Any sport that you want, you'll be able to get a free pick. And until November 30th, there's different bonuses, different tokens, different profit boosts every single day at Underdog. Additionally, you can find, if you go on your Underdog app right now, if you're out of money or you're low on Monday, you can get a 50% deposit bonus as an existing customer. Now, I would have hoped you would have signed up with code MAYO, but if you didn't, you still have access to this one anyway and get that 50% deposit bonus over there until November 30th. All right, let's talk about last week. Cam, you did very well.
Yeah.
There you go.
3-0 or 2-1?
2-1. Indy scummed you at the last second.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm on new medications and I smoked a joint, so I apologize before this show. I'm just trying to get through the week. I might be a little bit slower than usual. Worse jokes, not quick. I'm literally I'm in trouble. Anyway, I should have gone with Carolina. That would have been
you
my
can't.
pick.
You can't. You're not allowed to. We made a deal at the beginning. You signed off on this. You're not allowed to pick Carolina, unfortunately.
When Carolina tied it up against Kansas City, I literally got a hard on because I was thinking, if these guys win this game, they got 4 wins, and I'm right back in the saddle. And the old Patrick Mahomes side, oh yeah, I'm gonna mosey on down the sideline.
Yeah,
won't somebody just take that asshole out?
They can't. I don't. He
Sorry,
has a really good.
Wrong. No, I don't want to get in trouble anymore.
Yep.
That quarterback out.
Quarterback.
Yeah,
That fine man. He runs down the sideline, always makes it look like he's going to go out of bounds, and then he just cuts back in and gets like another 20 yards in those instances.
Why don't you just knock him out?
So one day someone's going to. They don't want to get a penalty if he's going out of bounds, but at some point he's going to get knocked out.
Oh, I pull the old buddy Ryan. I don't care if you get a penalty. Put him on his ass. Who cares about the penalty? They're going to get in Butker's field goal range anyway. Knock him out.
Yeah.
So I believe we were all 2-1 last week, which is a massive improvement from anything that we've done in previous weeks. So we're trying to get back on it. Cam, you and I won our golds.
I owe you $100.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, Tampa Bay made quick work of the Giants. The -6 was the right side of that one. Cam, you had Seattle. Rob, you were 1-2. Sorry, for some reason I thought Minnesota covered, but of course they couldn't. That would be impossible for Minnesota to have covered that game. I lost Washington -10 because they lost outright. We had both Houston and Washington on the 3-team teaser that we had, and they both lost outright. That's not good.
Well, that's better than I'd rather lose 2 out of 3 legs. That way you could say it never had a chance.
Exactly.
Right?
I got a call, Rob, from Visine Vince right before the game because he's the commissioner of one of my fantasy leagues. He goes, Dallas is going to beat Washington. I go, what the fuck? He goes, Dallas is going to beat Washington. And I looked at him. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That guy gets weird premonitions and they come true a lot of the time.
Just could say it's because his eyes are very clear with all the Visine that he's using. Yeah. He sees things clearly.
Yeah, good weed.
So the overall records, I only want to bring this up to continue to tout my gold picks record, which was another winner again for another week. 10-2 to cancel out Rob's 2-10 for the gold pick. Cam, you were 4-6-2 with your gold, so you're just right there, right around 500. It's not bad. I'm awful at silver, 3-9. Cam 5-7. Rob 7-5.
Bronze.
Yeah, Rob 7-5 with silver and bronze, and I'm below on both those. Cam, you're 2-10-0. On the bronze pick, so just don't even bother. I'm
the Finland hockey team. We love third.
You don't though.
No,
I fucking hate it. Yeah, I'm telling you, Pat. I did it again. I did these picks on these other shows. It went, Rob. I'm 17-2 without best bets. All the best bets.
Yeah.
On another show, I went 1-2, and I went 2-1 on your show. What killed me? Giants and who was the other fucker that fucked me up? I'm trying to think.
I think Pat this year has like this strategy of I think that these teams are way better than people give him credit for, and he's just been riding the same teams, and it keeps working. He's getting that. For me, I come into this show like I am today. I have no idea what I'm going to pick as the goal today, and honestly. Yeah, it's got to turn around at some point or another.
I don't even know where the fuck I am right now, but I'll tell you another thing, Pat. That guy who won the super contest in Pizzola knows this. It was literally a Starbucks barista in Vegas. They go, "How did you win there, Jim?" He's like, "I just took the Patriots every week and I faded like the worst team in the like." It was that simple. The guy was like some common bettor, and he just said, "Fuck this team," and I'm riding this team. He won.
It's funny, Rob, that like it's my early week picks that continue to do really well. Like my first thought on the game, that line just looks way off. Like how I judge these teams on a Tuesday morning, like that's what I'm going with. And the more that I think about it throughout the course of the week, I feel like the worse my picks get.
Yeah, I listen. Everyone has their own strategy. Like for me personally, I bet early and then or late in the week. So and this is no excuses, by the way. Like we're doing content. I know I have to give out picks. I signed up to do this. I don't care. But I'm almost never going to bet on a Wednesday. It just doesn't happen for me. Like I'm getting down earlier in the week if I think a number's off, or then I'm just waiting for all the injury information that I can process. Like, again, not excuses, but I had my single biggest winning day of the year last week. And that was purely because I had all these Green Bay Packers alternate lines. And we talked about it on the show, but Purdy was nursing a shoulder injury on his throwing arm. I started to bet Green Bay alts before he was even ruled out of the game. So I ended up with getting really, really good prices there, and they ended up winning in a blowout. So like it's that type of stuff that makes it challenging for me on a Wednesday to really hone in on a pick because it's unusual for me. But either way, your strategy is working really well, Pat. I think
I've been lucky too that you've mentioned it, that I've been riding these teams, but I've also somehow just jumped off the right week every single time.
Well, that's betting. That's what you got to do. You got to find teams when they're undervalued in market and then get off when the market catches up to them. So, yeah, I think you've done a really good job this year of figuring out who those teams are.
Well, let's get to it with the gold picks. I'm doing it again, Cam. Going back to the same team that I did it with last week at the exact same number on the road against what I envision as a worse team. Now, I don't know if it gets any worse than how the Giants looked last week, but Tampa is way more than 6 points better than Carolina. Carolina is absolute fool's gold. And like even last week, you said that they gave you a hard on that they tied the game up. There's no chance they were winning that game. They were down 8, had to score a touchdown, had to get a 2-pointer, and then left Mahomes with all this time. Like, realistically, they were never going to win. They kept kicking field goals in the first half for no reason. They got wildly outplayed by the Giants in Munich. They got wildly outplayed by the Saints in New Orleans. They just happened to win both those games somehow. Maybe that happens again. I don't see it. I think Tampa Bay is actually good, especially now that they're healthy. And no one is thinking that Baker is a top 10 quarterback or hell, even a top 5 quarterback right now. But the stats would tell you differently, and the play on the field would tell you differently that he's just on a different level at the moment.
I'm going to say this, Pat. Carolina's a different team.
They're not.
Okay? They got Thielen back. They got a lot of guys back. They look a lot crisper than they are. I'm not going to say, bet Carolina. I will. But I'm going to tell you another thing. Tampa Bay, they're better than people expect. That's the whole thing. They get no respect. They're the Rodney Dangerfield of the fucking NFL.
Yep. I don't really have an opinion on this game. I was with you, Pat, last week on the Tampa front against the Giants. I actually do think this iteration of the Giants is worse than this Carolina team because I think Bryce Young is better than Tommy DeVito.
Hey. Isn't Locke starting this week?
He might.
That game has already happened by the time that people are watching this.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I fucked up again.
It's okay.
Sorry, Pat. It's you don't understand.
But Paul and I have a side bet of this show of how many times you will refer to the Thanksgiving games. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What's the over under?
Can't tell you that.
If they tell you, then you can influence.
It's going over.
Well, you don't know what the number is. What if the number's?
I got a bad feeling. Let's just say that, Rob, and it's not just indigestion. Hey, Rob, you know that Italian drink, Stappy?
Yeah.
They have it at those local Vaughn
the cafes.
Bars?
Yeah.
Cafes?
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't have alcohol in it, does it?
No.
They got to create one with alcohol. And that I'd buy a case of that shit. It works better than Tums, Rolaids, Maalox, anything. That stuff is great for heartburn.
Are you suffering from heartburn right now or indigestion?
Yeah, I feel like there's a fucking burning sword going up my neck and I got bad heartburn. Yeah.
You ever had like that brioche stuff that you pour into your water and it dissolves? It's like an Alka-Seltzer type of thing. It works really well.
Yeah, Alka-Seltzer's for losers. You want to get a real thing? If you're doing powder form, Eno. That's the old school way. Problem with Alka-Seltzer, the discs take too long to dissolve.
This one is instantaneous, dude.
Yeah,
instant.
Eno's an instant powder, and it gets right to where you need to get to.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't have time to wait for this to dissolve in water.
Fucking kidding me? I got a burning sword in my throat. Yes, I would like it in powder form, not in disc form.
Right.
Fuck. Just saying.
The Buccaneers,
Sorry, Pat,
Cam.
I'm not at my best today.
No, it's okay. You don't,
Cam.
Cam. You don't need to apologize. Just roll with it, embrace it, and roll with it.
Yeah,
we're here for
Everyone
it.
has their off days.
I'm
man.
pretty fucked up. Like I don't even know if I'm high, asleep. Man, diabetes, Rob. I don't know how you deal. Like this shit's throwing me for a loop. Yesterday, my number was like 11.2. I'm like, I had fucking cornflakes. Then I eat like a bottomless thing of ice cream and it's 5.5. Like I don't get it. I don't understand what the fuck's going on. It's killing me.
I have some theories as to what could happen. Well, cornflakes are high in carb. They're going to raise your
3 grams of sugar though. Anyway, I guess booze is the problem.
Booze would be something that would be a problem.
But wine's really good. It's got 2 grams of sugar per bottle if you buy the right ones.
2 grams per bottle?
Yeah, I'm not even bullshitting you. You look up Malbec, Portuguese, or all the South American Malbecs. It's between 2 and 4, buddy. I drink that shit by the case. Wow. Do we have to give picks for gold? Or
you should go for it. Give us a gold pick. I'm taking Tampa -6.
Actually, Rob, I'm scrolling. You go.
Okay. Let's see which team I'm going to curse this week. Oh man, I hate the Bulls.
Do it.
All right, I'll do it. This one's for you, Cam. I don't really love the number. Wish I could get the extra half point, but we got to take what's available in market. I'll take the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, I knew you were going to do it.
Plus
I
5.5 against the Commander. Listen, old school NFL handicapping. This would be the game you want to get off. Titans won as an underdog. Commanders won as a big favorite. I think Pat's been identifying these teams that are undervalued in market. I think the Commanders are fundamentally broken right now, all around. And I don't think you can value them like the team that they were earlier on in the year. The offense, whether it's Jaden Daniels being injured or, whatever narrative you want to spin about Cliff Kingsbury in the second half of the year, it's just not working for the offense right now. They don't target their receivers. They have their starting center, Tyler Biadasz, their right tackle, Andrew Wiley, both got concussed last week. They might not play. You have no running backs because Brian Robinson is hurt. Austin Eckler is hurt. The offense is just not the same. And on the other side, Tennessee's finally getting their luck to reverse. Obviously, Will Levis still made a boneheaded play last week. He does that a lot. But if you look at the Titans from a season-long point of view, they've been a pretty average team. They just find ways to really shit the bed in crucial situations. This is enough points where I feel comfortable that these teams are not that far apart from each other. And the Washington defense that everyone thought at the beginning of the year turned it around. This is going to be a good defense. They suck now too. They're back. So I just think it's too many points. Market hasn't corrected enough on these teams. I'll take the 5.5 with the Titans.
I actually like the other side of this game. Just thinking about it from the old school way that you're thinking about it. Titans coming off what's going to be their biggest win of the season against a division rival in Houston. And they were 8.5 point, even 9, I think, by the time that kicked off. Whereas Washington is the exact opposite. They lose to a division rival as 10-point favorites. Like, is there really that much separating Tennessee and Dallas? Like, if you were to throw them onto a neutral site right now, Rob, what do you think that the line would be? Tennessee by 1?
Yeah, Tennessee would be favored, I think, over Dallas right now. With I can price it really quickly, but yeah, in that type of range, I would say Dallas is probably like a minus 5.5 in market. Tennessee's like a -4, 1.5 sounds about right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So really, like, obviously the game last week was mispriced because Dallas won outright. But if we're just looking at how we were thinking about it coming into the week, I liked Washington because I was thinking that they were still Washington. They were 10-point favorites. Now the number's basically cut in half for playing essentially the same team.
I know it's gone through 7. It's gone through 6. That was my hesitation, honestly, with making the play. I got to pick something out of a bunch of stuff that I don't like. So it's there. I just think that Washington, there's so much injury downside for them this week on offense. I don't know how they're just going to flip the switch and correct it. Tennessee's not a great defense, but they're average. They do a lot of things really well. And where they're weakest is at corner right now. And Washington is not throwing downfield to wide receivers. It's just not part of their offense right now. So for those reasons, probability, it doesn't seem like Lattimore is going to play for Washington and make his debut this week as of right now. I don't know. But you look at like Will Levis he's playing a lot better now. I mean, he took 9 sacks last week and he still won the game. There's something there where they're 2-9 against the spread. They've sucked for the most part this year, but they have not performed as poorly as that against the spread record. So I think Tennessee is an undervalued team right now, even off of the win against Houston.
All right, Cam, your gold pick.
Oh boy. Okay. Want me to do something kind of weird?
Sure.
Give me Cincinnati -2.5 against Pittsburgh. The world's going to be on Pittsburgh.
Now you liked the Giants last week, correct? And I told you that they were cuss super lock. I am telling you that Cincinnati is cuss super lock this week.
Why doesn't anybody tell me this shit before we start taping? We need a note.
I like Cincinnati against the number 2, but the way that I was talking it through, I know that you outlined Green Bay last week, Rob. I think this one's like Pittsburgh money line or Cincinnati -9.5. Like, just if it's close, Pittsburgh's going to win.
I think a lot of people have gotten to the point now with Steelers games where it's almost formulaic for them. It's like, are the Steelers underdogs? Yeah, I'm going to take them. Are they favorites? I'm going to fade them. I'm with Cam this week. I actually would rather have the Bengals than the Steelers in this spot. that the Steelers offense is starting to really come down to earth. And the thing with Russell Wilson since he took over is that all of their success has been on late downs. And over time, early down success is way more predictive than late down success. You cannot be in 3rd and long over and over and over and continuously succeed. Teams just don't do that.
Well, a perfect example of what you're talking about, just to highlight that point, is Houston was able to accomplish this all of last year. And then we got to this year, and they're trying the same thing, and now their offense doesn't work.
Yeah, people look at Seattle, and they're like, how does Seattle not score? It looks very fluid for them. They move down the field. It's like, well, no, they really don't. They take negative plays on 1st and 2nd down a lot. They're all constantly in 3rd and long. That's why they can't move the ball successfully. It's the same thing that I think is starting to happen with the Steelers. You got to have success on early downs, and they're not doing that. The Bengals D isn't great, but they can move the ball. They're probably getting their left tackle, Orlando Brown, back this week, which is big for them. Obviously, defending the likes of TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith might be back as well. I'm with you, Cam. Like 2.5 is better, but even at 3, I would lean Bengals.
Here's the deal. Everyone can shit on the Seahawks all they want. They have a makeshift offensive line. You're like, oh, Gino, he can't play outdoor Gino. The guy's been fine. He's got no fucking line. And Jackson Smith-Njigba is the hottest player in the league right now. The guy's on fucking fire. So let's give Seattle a little respect.
I mean, outdoor Gino still is doing absolutely nothing. Their defense is somehow revitalized after like a half year of being terrible. Now they're good again.
Yeah, they're healthy.
Yeah.
They got everyone back. They started the year and everyone was like, Seattle's defense is amazing. First 3 games, they played nobody. Granted, they played nobody in those games. But then they started to get players injured. They played Detroit with injuries. And now it's healthy again. And you're starting to see the return to form from the beginning of the year. So, Seattle's like quietly become a big-time under team. I think people think of them as an over team, but the defense is really good. And the offense just stalls out, or they have like red zone turnovers every week.
Let's get to the silver picks.
Patrick, one quick question.
Sure.
How does the Friday game, is it aligned with the Thursday games?
No, you know what? We're going to talk about that. We have talked about that already on the show. But since this is coming out on Thursday evening, you can have the Black Friday game at your disposal if you want to take the Raiders.
I don't. I was actually going to take the Chiefs.
Really?
I love this, Cameron.
You know what? I already cursed these people. They haven't covered the last 2 weeks. You know what? I'm going to throw them a bone. You know what? Get off my back. I like Kansas City this week. I think they're going to fucking take the Raiders out to the woodshed and murder them. And I mean murder them. I think they win this game by 23.
They were murdering the Panthers last week in the first half. And then just after the half, they're like, yeah, we're going to run the ball a million times. Mahomes started taking sacks on 3rd down. So I could see it. Aiden O'Connell probably going to start this week. Do you guys not find it a little bit concerning that they don't know if he can grip the ball as of right now?
This is I mean, I took Vegas in this game just because division 13 points, it's a lot, and I'm not going to bet this game anyway, so I don't really care. So I hope Kansas City covers for your sake, Cam, because I'm not going to lose a cent on it either way. But it's very much in the realm, it's just the spread is bigger than how I felt about the Giants last week. They're playing Tommy DeVito because they don't want to win. They're playing an injured Aiden O'Connell because they don't want to win.
I don't know the motivations for them playing AOC. I think they really believe that Ritter is that terrible, which I also believe. Thank God he took that sack last week.
Oh, no. That if the Raiders score that touchdown from the 1, I'm loaded, man. That game was nuts.
Yeah, I know. And Denver, they didn't score a touchdown, and I ended up having a good win. Sometimes we're on opposite sides. What are you going to do? That's Desmond Ritter football, man. Down to the 1 yard line. One thing you can't do is take a sack. He took a sack. Of course.
I'm always on the losing fucking side. And I don't even want to put the Chiefs in my minerals, but I think they're going to kill the Raiders, so I'll do it.
All right, Rob, do you want to go first with silver, or would you like me to jump in for you?
See, I do want to go first just because I feel like we might have some overlap because I know the teams you like and the ones you don't like.
I have 3 picks, so I can use any 3 of them for these.
Can
2
I
picks.
guess?
Well, I'll sure you can guess.
I can guess. I didn't watch the show this week. I have some ideas on who Pat will like.
All right, well, hit me. Who do you think? This is a fun game. Who do you think that I like this week?
Okay, so I think you will like the Broncos.
I do like the Broncos. That is true.
Yep.
I think
you will like
the Chargers.
I love the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also like the Chargers. So now I have a little bit more info. I think the Bills too, but I don't know that Pat would give it yet because there's not like any certainty on Purdy. But I think he would like the Bills as well.
I actually like the San Francisco side if Purdy plays. Just the Bills are slow, man. They run a slow offense. They're trying to run the ball. They're not trying to go deep. That if Purdy is there, I do think they can score enough points to keep it within the 7, even if they're like not super competitive in the game.
Yeah, those are the ones that stand out to me as teams that Denver was for sure.
What about the Shithawks this week against the Jets? Does it feel like a trap?
It does to me, but I like the Seahawks side just because if you can bet against the Jets, who seem to lose every week, that seems to be a good idea.
Just feels weird. That game feels weird.
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of games that I like. I'm actually having trouble discerning between a lot of them. So if you want to pick, you take one of them off the table for me, Rob.
You know what? I'll let you keep those for now. I'm going to go Rams -2.5.
That was the one. That's the one I was going to take.
I love the Rams this week.
Yeah, okay. we're in trouble though because you cannot have a beat on New Orleans. Like, what is preventing Taysom Hill from scoring 4 touchdowns in this game randomly?
Agreed. Their rushing game with Hill is really good. That's what actually scares me the most about the New Orleans team. Like, they survived that stretch before the bye where they had all these injuries and they somehow won both of those games. And I do think the Saints might be, I don't want to say undervalued. I do think there's a path to success for them running the ball, but where does Carr struggle? Interior pressure. The Rams do that pretty well. They have all year long. The Rams are probably going to get the right tackle back, Rob Havenstein. That's enormous for this team because the backup there, Joe Noteboom, sucks. I don't know if you guys watch Sunday Night Football, watching right tackle just get blown by every single play by the Eagles. That's not going to happen here. The Saints don't get pressure. They don't have good corners. Debo's IR. They traded Lattimore. I think this is like a really good bounce back spot for Rams offense, particularly. So I'll lay the 2.5. It's because it's 2.5, honestly, and there's still 2.5 -115 out there. At 3, I wouldn't be as interested, but I guess it's a clean sweep for us where fading the Saints this week.
Yeah, I like it. I guess my concern about the Saints is maybe that they're starting to look a little bit more like that Saints team from the first 2 weeks, just because of the personnel that they got back. Like, as much as I kind of like laugh at Taysom Hill, he is integral to how their offense runs. Yeah. And weirdly, getting Marquez Valdez-Scantling to replace Raheed Shaheed, like, their offense went down the moment Hill got hurt, but then the moment that Shaheed went out, like, they were inept. They had no one to stretch the field for them, and now they just have that threat back, which opens up their running game because safeties just can't cheat all the way up to the line of scrimmage anymore.
The only thing I will say is that the Marquez Valdez-Scantling huge touchdown pass, who did they play before the bye? It was against Cleveland. It wasn't like a deep bomb to Valdez-Scantling. It was like 15 yards downfield, and then he ran it.
But they took 3 shots with him down the field, too.
Yeah.
That he didn't come, like he came down with it the week before. He didn't against Cleveland. But you now have to respect that part of their offense because it's there.
I got to tell you, maybe you're right. I'm not willing to believe that Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Cedric Wilson, and Kevin Austin are like the guys that I have. It can happen. He could catch a deep ball. Maybe they have some, but it's such a big drop.
But it has nothing to do with them actually being good. It's that when they didn't have that one element, the speed element in their offense, they just weren't running vertical routes down. Even if he's just doing cardio and running 9 routes every second play, someone has to stand back there.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. It's just by having him on the field, they are stretching the field.
Yes.
Just by having him run down.
Exactly. And they just, with the weeks when, I mean, you also have to remember, like, Carr coming back was kind of big for them. The upgrade of Derek Carr versus the absolute goobers they were playing at quarterback.
I know.
Like, as much as you, like, don't think that Derek Carr is good, and I don't either,
right.
he's like a league median starting quarterback.
I personally think it's Taysom Hill that is the big swing in the Saints offense. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm sure if I were to run on-off splits this year with Taysom Hill, they would be so much better as an offense with him because they can use him in short yardage situations. They run some like 2 and 3 tight end sets with Jawan Johnson and Foster Moreau. They're doing a lot of unique stuff when Hill is out there. I value his presence a lot more. And listen, I won't be surprised if the Saints win this game. They have been performing well, generally speaking, when they're not dealing with massive amount of injuries. But I think it's such a good spot for the Rams offense. It's kind of reminds me of, like, I bet the Rams a few weeks ago at the Patriots. I felt the same way in that game. Stafford's not going to get pressured a lot. They don't have the corners that are going to be able to cover. They play a lot of man coverage. They're not going to be able to cover these Rams receivers. I feel the same way about the Saints. They don't have the corners. They can't generate the pass rush. You're going to have a healthy O-line for the Rams in all likelihood. I just think that they're going to be able to move the ball more effectively.
I agree with you. I like the Rams in this game too. I'm just trying to see the other side of the coin is that it's really hard to gauge how good, especially offensively, the Saints can be. Like, if this game just randomly was 35-32 Saints, it'd be like, oh yeah, that was the path for the Saints winning this game.
As this has happened, by the way, the Washington Commanders just got bet out in market up to six and a half.
I'm just going through my passwords and it says I have 14 Bet365 accounts. That doesn't seem right.
I feel like you might have just accidentally typed in a wrong password trying to log in and then saved that one because
That's a lot of accounts.
Well, you don't have 14 accounts. You have one.
Okay.
You just typed the password in wrong a lot. And then a pop-up came up on screen that said, do you want to save this password? Because it was different than the previous one. And you saved it every time.
So my silver pick is actually a game we have not talked about yet because it's funny because I've been betting this team well all year, both for and against them. And I think it's just a very nice rebound spot. And because of what happened last week and an out of sight, out of mind type deal, that Houston -4 at home against Jacksonville is looking pretty enticing to me. We forget Jacksonville is really bad. I'm not convinced Lawrence still plays in this game. This has been bet down. It's -4 at Coolbet right now. That's down a point in like the past 3 hours. So maybe there was Lawrence news that I didn't see. But even if it's Lawrence, it's not like the Jags were good with Lawrence. They still have the worst defense in the league. And the biggest thing over the past 5 weeks, Cam, Atlanta is number 31 in pressure rate. And they're at 23% pressure rate. The Jags are dead last at a 15% pressure rate. If they're almost like Rob's case of New Orleans not being able to get to Stafford, if there's any team that's not going to get to Stroud, it's going to be this Jags team. So if this was a week ago and we still have the uncertainty with an injured Lawrence, and if this was a week ago and let's pretend like Houston steamrolls Tennessee, I feel like this line's 7.5.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. I don't really want to bet the Jags.
No, Rob. The last time we argued with them with Jacksonville, things went sour. Let's just shut up.
No, I'm not arguing with him.
Okay.
I completely understand all the points. I think the market's moving this way because Trevor Lawrence is expected to practice today. People think that, okay, there's going to be some value. They bet the number. And at some point, it goes too far. In a lot of these instances, you bet back the other way. It's quarterback coming first game off of injury. Pat made a good point. Defense isn't very good. They have injuries on offense as well. Their center, Mitch Morse. I don't know if Tank Bigsby's going to play this week, but I believe he's actually very important for this offense because ETN is so bad when they give him the ball. I get all those reasons. I have trouble with Houston because they're
overrated.
They're the fuck around and find out team this year, right? Like run on first down, run on second. Laramie Tunsil's going to take a holding penalty at left tackle fucking every other drive.
It's unreal how many penalties that guy takes.
He leads the league, I'm pretty sure, in penalties this year.
He also leads the league in bong hits. Remember when he was drafted, he had like some super bong? Anyway, hey, I'm not going to knock him for it, but you're playing in the NFL. You got to figure it out.
Yeah,
That's all.
just don't get caught on social media with your gas mask bong
Yes.
right before the
That
draft.
would
You'll be
help.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
The number just doesn't seem big enough to me. I mean, part of the Houston problems has been they've had 2 Nico Collins long touchdowns taken off the board in each of the past 2 games for like no reason.
Pat, do you mind if I take a leak? I'm not doing very good here. I think I took too much metformin. I got to take a leak.
Well, yes, you go take a leak while I tell the good people about the TGL, the Golf League, the TGL. TGLgolf.com is where you need to go to check out all of the information for the teams, but it's a simulator golf league with PGA pros in it. It's all taking place in Palm Beach Gardens at a 1,500-seat arena where you hit into a simulator, but off of like real grass, real sand, real rough, and there's like a green complex there in the stadium where you can play. Jared pointed out to me before the show, it's like, this could be like sort of the North American answer to darts in a weird way. If you like built up the atmosphere right. I don't know if it's going to be that way, but betting wise, I was looking at the odds on CoolBet, and like the Boston Common are 3-1, the Atlanta Drive are plus 375. There's 5 teams that are between 3-1 and 5-1 out of the 6 teams, and then you have the Jupiter Lynx Tigers team are 12-1. But I guess my question for you is, how do you bet on unknown markets? Like, we don't really know what this is going to look like, how it's going to play itself out. You have a 3-on-3 component and an individual component as comprised by these teams. Like, how do you go about wagering on this?
Yeah, it's really challenging. You're just basically betting your opinions. When you have a market like this and there's professional bettors who don't have access to data for this type of particular league, it kind of puts people on a more level playing field. So honestly, the real answer is you just dig into it. You find golfers that you like, and you can bet your opinions. It's very different than betting your opinion on the NFL. The NFL is a very mature market. Sports books, the sharp sports books are taking, upwards of $100,000 bets on game day. There's a lot of data available. That's going to be really hard for a casual rec bettor to beat that market. But when you're looking at something like the golf league, you're not going to have that much professional involvement because the limits are smaller. And because there's less data, you have a much higher chance to succeed. So you can go to more traditional handicapping methods and try to break it down yourself, because the reality, Pat, is that nobody knows. And these are some of the best opportunities as a sports bettor.
The problem is, do you think that the books have caught up to this, where like there's very clearly one team with lesser talent, that would be Tigers team, and they're way back in the pack, and they've just decided, you know what, we don't know, so we're going to price everything a bit equally, but it doesn't feel like the 5th ranked of the 6th ranked teams is long enough odds to just blindly be like, yeah, well, they're about as competitive as everyone else. Like, why wouldn't I bet on them? Like, it's 200 points of difference, but it's not like it's a head-to-head situation. Maybe the head-to-head market is where this is going to come through.
Yeah, possibly. That it depends on the offerings that are there. Head-to-heads might be one you could take advantage of. My biggest concern in the early going with these leagues is the books will take out some of the uncertainty by just adding more vig or more hold than they typically would, and then you have to take worse prices. But there's lots of ways you can go about it, and I don't know the format of the golf league events, but if it's like something that is the equivalent of playing one round of golf, well, that's a lot more variance. If it's something of the equivalent of playing, a full tournament, well, there's a little bit less variance there. So I think depending on the level of variance, you can discern a plan, right? If it's a small sample size, take some shots with the longer shot, even the team that has less talent. How many times is a team with less talent going to win in a short sample size? Sometimes those could be valuable bets. If it's a longer type of more extended thing, then you probably want to go more towards the favorites or don't pay attention to the long shots as much. So the rules of the specific event also matter a lot.
It's 15 holes. It's going to be a 3-on-3 component of teams for 9 holes, and then an individual for 6.
15 holes, 3-on-3 team first, and then individual at the end.
Yeah.
And what's the team format? Like a best ball scramble type of thing?
I believe so is going to be what it ends up being.
Because when I think of stuff like this, right, it's a odd comparison, but I kind of start thinking about other events in sports that don't take place. Home run derby would be one for the MLB, where there's years where they just suddenly change the rules. And now all of a sudden you got to wait for the home run ball to land before the pitcher can pitch. That affects a bunch of things in market. These types of things as well. I strongly believe that drilling into the exact type of rule set can give you an advantage in these types of situations, because you have to understand how these are priced. It's just some sportsbook trader who doesn't really know how to price this, who's throwing up odds on the event so people can bet it. And then people start to bet into this market and move the lines. But with these events where there's a lot of rules, they're not widely known, things of that nature, just by digging into that, you can uncover more valuable info and make more informed bets. And really, it's just you against the trader and not against like this massive market.
Yeah, so yeah, it's 3-on-3 for 9 holes, and then it's an individual like heads up for 6 holes. And all of the holes are designed like we know the holes beforehand, so you could dig into that. I think that the biggest variance might actually come with whatever structure, like the green complex that is actually there in front of them. Like it's going to be the same greens every single time that you're putting on. Right. Obviously, the holes will move around on the greens, but if you have a good feel for those greens, you might just be dropping bombs.
You also might have more intuition as to which putters are more likely to be successful if they're putting on the same green over and over, right? As a golf fan, I'm saying for you in particular, Pat, I don't specifically know that. But if it's 3-on-3 and you're doing like some sort of scramble format where the lowest score has to win a hole, then you're starting to look at different things. Who are the more aggressive golfers? Who are guys that consistently make, let's say, maybe more eagles on tour than other people, because it's going to take a low score to win a hole, things of that nature. So for me, I view it as a logic puzzle. I really try to break things down a lot. And honestly, in stuff like this, I think the intelligence level of the golfer might have something to do with the outcome as well. Like just hearing you describe the format to me, Pat, if I was playing in this, I would be trying to hit to the same side of the green pretty often so that I can get the same type of looking putts and putt that over and over. That seems like an optimal strategy, but I don't know. I'm just speaking out of my ass here. And like first thing that comes to my head, maybe a look at who you think are actually the smartest golfers might be advantageous in the early goings of these events versus who are actually the best golfers.
So yeah, that's the angle that I like. Now I'm going to dig into college transcripts instead of actually having to do all the real hard work on all of this stuff. I just want to let everyone know tglgolf.com is where you can find all of this. It starts on ESPN and ESPN Plus on January 7th of 2025, and I'll have team previews coming out all the way leading up to the first tee of the TGL. It's the best feeling when clothes fit good and look good, and you can comfortably wear them all day long. And that's exactly how I feel about my clothing from Doers. These are the most comfortable pants I've ever owned, and I'm reaching for them every day. Unfortunately, I get dirty. You know, I got 2 little kids, and when you got 2 little kids, you go through a ton of laundry, so it's not like you can just clean clothes every single day. You gotta wait for that stuff to pile up at the same time. But I wear my Doers as often as possible. I got 4 pairs right now. My wife, let me tell you, it's working. It's working for me with Doer, and they have styles that can be worn all year round. Their stretch performance denim and lifestyle apparel is built for doing. You know I love my Doers, and now's the time to get your own because Doer's Black Friday sale is on now. They've got up to 50% off these incredibly comfortable pants, and this is the best time to upgrade your wardrobe before the new year and find some amazing holiday gifts. Doer sale runs through December 2nd, but don't wait. These items will sell out fast. So go to shopdoer.com/PME to get these great deals before they're gone. That's shopdoer, DUER.com/PME. Shopdoer.com/PME. Introducing the TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Picture this. 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime-forcing, playoff on-the-line golf with 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour, like Tiger and Rory and more, split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. To learn more, visit tglgolf.com and tune in to the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up. It's golf. As we enter the holiday season, there's always a lot of people that just don't handle this part of the year all that well. I've seen it in my own family. And if you're thinking about giving therapy a try, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/mayo to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PatMayo. The holiday season's when people start to fall off from the routine. I know that I've fallen into that trap before, but I found now that I've started drinking AG1 every morning, it gets me on the path of where I need to be so I don't lapse at this time of year. And right now, AG1's running a special Black Friday offer for all November. AG1 is a daily health drink packed with nutrients to help you alleviate bloating, support sustained energy, and whole body health. But here's the key. You dump in a bit of water, half full of the bottle they send you. You dump in your scoop of AG1, cut that with your favorite juice. I like orange juice, so I cut it with orange juice. You shake that up, you pound it back. Not only is it delicious, you also feel great at the same time. And the energy boost it gives you over something else that you might consume in the morning is basically immeasurable, at least to me at this point. So this holiday season, try AG1 for yourself or even gift it to someone special. It's the perfect time to focus on supporting your body with an easy and surprisingly delicious daily health drink. And that's why I'm so excited to be partnering with them. Every week of November, AG1 will be running a special Black Friday offer for a free gift with your first subscription, in addition to the welcome kit with vitamin D3 and K2. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/mayo to see what gift you can get this week. That's drinkag1/mayo to start your holiday season off on a healthier note. While supplies last. Bronze picks, weeks number 13. Cam, are you ready, or would you like Rob and I to go?
I would like you two to go.
All right, so here's where I'm at. You've kind of ran through the games that I like, Rob, the Chargers. I ended up going with Houston as my silver pick. There is one game I do want to talk about that I don't know if any of us are going to get there, is I kind of like Arizona plus 3.5 against Minnesota. Minnesota just strikes me as win by field goal team now.
I agree.
I'm kind of torn on this. I want Arizona to get bet to 3 so I can bet Minnesota. That's how I feel about this game. But I do agree with you. I got burned on this show last week by betting the 3.5 on the Vikings. They find ways to keep teams in games right now.
Yeah, like
they should have slaughtered teams in the last 3 games, and they haven't.
Yeah, like even the 10-point win against the Titans, like it felt like it should have been 50-3, and it just, the Titans just kept lingering around. The Jags lingered around on them. The Colts lingered around on them. I mean, they beat the Rams pretty decisively before that, but during this 4-game winning streak, like they haven't played anyone good since they lost by 2 to the Lions like 7 weeks ago.
My question is, do we still think that the Cardinals are good?
No, but what if I'm wrong? Then 3.5 is way too many points.
Because that defense is now starting to look like the defense that I thought at the beginning. Actually, you know what? Can't even say that. They didn't give up a lot of points to Seattle. Seattle moved the ball, but they held strong. I don't know. Tough game for me. You guys seem to be in simpatico with Arizona. I'm not. I think 3.5 is right, personally. But if Arizona catches money, I probably would bet Minnesota in this game at 3.
And the other one that's now been bet down, Cam, it's Indy only minus 2.5 against New England.
I like Indy.
I think I like Indy too. It's just like Down's probably out. Like he's 50-50 to play. Pittman's probably not going to play. But if you're going to beat the Patriots, even in like cold weather, like you're just going to want to run the ball a ton. And that's what the Colts can do.
Let me tell you, I watched that Colts-Lions game. Hockley fucking Jr., remember Pipe Sr.? He fucked the Colts on every play. Like, Rob, did you watch that game? The score was not indicative of how the Colts moved the ball.
I've heard this a lot this week, so I do believe that it actually happened because
I would never lie. I'm telling you.
See, I went back because I felt the same thing in the moment when I was watching it as you did, and yeah, there were instances of the game where the refs got them, but like when you only score 6 points, like some of it's on you too.
Yeah, I get it. Richardson's throwing the ball a little bit better, I think the Colts are. I I don't think they're that bad.
They're okay.
Patriots are shit.
Yeah,
I like the Colts.
Yeah, I like the Colts too, especially at 2.5, Rob. It just seems like I think the weather is playing a concern because it's supposed to be very cold and just no one and the injuries obviously, and no one really believes in the Colts because I mean I don't believe in the Colts as being good, but I think that they are on the level above the Patriots.
Yeah, I will say like I don't find this number enticing with the Patriots. My only issue with the Colts is I have to wait every week to see who's going to be playing on the O-line because I agree with you. Without Downs, they don't really stretch the field. They're going to want to get back to the run. Bernard Raymond's been missing the last couple weeks. That's hurt them a lot at left tackle. Their center, fellow Paisano, Tanner Bortolini, got hurt last week as well. So I have to just see how that plays out. I'm with you guys. I don't have any real attractiveness with the Patriots. I'm looking to bet the Colts. I just want to wait till later on.
It's funny because I don't think that Downs actually make. I mean, obviously Downs would enhance their offense because it would lead some. Christian Gonzalez probably ends up on Downs, and then you can kind of operate everywhere else. But schematically, how the Colts operate offensively, I think it's just. I mean, the Patriots D is not very good, so let's not forget that. But they can be had up the seams when you got 3 big athletic tight ends running down the field. That's going to end up being an issue if those are the easy throws that Richardson has to make. Additionally, like they can still like their stretch guy isn't Downs. Their stretch guy is Alec Pierce. He's the guy that they throw to down the field.
Yeah, I need the Colts to have the running game available to them if I'm going to bet them because you have too many Richardson games where like last week he went 11 for 28 and he is playing better since he came back, but he doesn't have that like he has that ability on a weekly basis to just show up and the accuracy is not there. And then you're just kind of fucked. And that's what happened with them with the Lions last week. They couldn't run on the Lions. Richardson can't complete a forward pass, and you only score 6 points on a defense you should score a lot more points on. So that's where I'm at with this game. I think if the Colts can run the ball, they can be successful against anyone. I like them in a lot of those spots, but lately they haven't been able to do that. This is a better matchup for them, but I have to wait to see what's going on with the O-line.
This commercial's bullshit. I'm watching this product, Lumen. It looks like a vape pen, and it's like making ladies lose weight.
I am so interested in getting Illumina. It is exactly the sort of info catered to people like me, people who like track their macros, who want to lose fat yet retain all the muscle they have. So I would like to know during the course of the day by breathing into a vape pen whether or not I'm burning fat or carbohydrates based on the different workout that I'm doing. It's a perfect product for me. That probably is absolutely useless. Unless they want to sponsor the show, Cam. I don't know if it works.
Lumen's a great product. I'm just seeing middle-aged women sitting at the book club fucking crushing vape pens saying, oh, I lost pounds on Lumen. Like, no, show me, man. That's bullshit. Anyway, whatever. Aren't you going to eat more if it tastes like weed? Like you're going to lose the weight, then you're going to go eat the side of your table?
It's not a vape pen, though. You blow into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it tells you your metabolic situation. Like, it's probably like, when you stab yourself to get your blood reading to tell you what your blood sugar is.
It's a health apparatus.
It's the same idea, but it tells you like right now, is your body more prone to burn carbohydrates over stored fats?
Sounds like bullshit, but get one and we'll test it out.
I'm not going to lie to you. It does sound like bullshit, but if it does work, it is exactly the kind of product that I would want. And then listen to and then do whatever I do.
I just don't think their ad campaign was strong. They should have done it with guys who are at the gym and whatever instead of ladies at the book club. Just my take.
I feel like this is probably more geared towards women than men.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Men don't give a shit about their health. Let's be honest.
I do, but it's really just me.
Yeah.
The way I've been going, man.
I feel a pain in my abdomen. I just wait 3 days for it to go away before I even start to think
shit
about it.
And blood. Don't worry about it. It's just fissures or hemorrhoids. Nothing serious.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys like Baltimore or Philly?
I prefer Philly. I'm sorry, Baltimore.
I prefer Baltimore as well.
I prefer Baltimore too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We're reading each other's mail this week.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going.
Is that good or bad?
That I don't know. I'm going to take the Chargers -2 on the road at Atlanta. I just keep coming back to it. I just think the Chargers are significantly better than the Falcons, and I'm not super concerned that they played on Monday night. In fact, they lost on Monday night. It was somewhat competitive, and now they get to play a big drop down in competition, even with Atlanta coming off the bye. And Atlanta doesn't generate any pressure. no matter, like, because you keep mentioning, Rob, like if the Falcons corners are back, yeah, they'll be better on defense, but Chargers, Herbert's going to have all the time in the world to throw the ball. So as long as he doesn't throw to Quentin Johnston and he drops 8 passes in the game, they should be fine.
Yeah, it's not only that like sometimes the Chargers just start to do the dumbest shit on offense when you're like, what? Like, you have a very clear matchup advantage. You don't need to, like, are they going to come out and attack the secondary and have Herbert throw 40 times? I don't know about that. I'm with you guys. I like the Chargers in the game, but I'd like it a lot more if Atlanta had that secondary that they did when they played the Broncos previous to their bye, which was a complete disaster.
Cam, I was looking up these Portuguese Malbec wines. La Linda Malbec has 2 grams of sugar per liter. So, in fact, in an entire bottle, it has fewer than 2 grams of sugar.
I drank a bottle of it last night. Gives you dry mouth. The best one is it's called. Let me see. I have it down on the floor here. I'll give it to you. Do I have time to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hit the floor.
grab the wine. Sure.
I'm going to tell you the best wine for value ever. I should be doing a show.
Cam Stewart, value hunter. That seems like something, Rob, we could go to the government with, and they'd give us money to make that.
Oh, 100%. Cam would actually be perfect for that show. Perfect.
Some fucker
I've
at
never
the liquor store
never
that's
seen him
buying
buy
the
something
shit by
on a
the
whim.
case.
He will
That used
always
to be me
evaluate
taking my
like
wine.
100 prices, except for when he's betting on sports.
Okay, I'll put this on. I need to have a nap today. I'm cranky. Finca Las Moras Melback. Finca, Finca Las Moras. It's, I think, got 3 grams per 750. This is the best wine for the price. I'd pay, like, this is a $25 wine. It's $12.
Have you tried the other stuff like the Pinot
Oh,
Grigio?
I've tried them all.
Deep ruby color
It's
with
delicious.
aromas of fresh red cherry, plums, and chocolate.
It's delicious.
I got to tell you,
got 3 grams of sugar.
when we went to Napa, shout out to to Will, who put us up, viewer of the show. Thanks a lot for getting us out to some of the wineries and the vineyards out in Napa. But like it was my wife, our friends, we all went. I am so bad at wine tasting and trying to figure out what's in it. Probably like 2 decades of smoking did that to me. I just it tastes like getting drunk. Let's have some. That's what it tastes like.
You know
to
what,
me.
Pat? I'm the opposite. We did a blind taste test, and the guy me and my girl, we went to a winery tour in Niagara. He goes, "Here are the wines. You tell me the price." I go, "That's the shittiest."
Oh no,
That's the mid.
I can.
That's like I can tell.
That I can tell because you can taste the sugar in the shitty wines by and large. And so if you buy the expensive wines, it's smoother. It doesn't have that like backbite. It doesn't have
More
as much
dry.
sugar taste in it. But just like if they're like, oh yeah, no, there's like oak scent. It's like really.
Can you get the hints of vanilla when
no.
you
Damn
taste
right
it?
I
Cam?
can.
No, it tastes like
Okay,
fucking
there
red
you go.
wine.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this shit's better than La Linda. La Linda gives me dry mouth, but it's still a good wine.
Make you a bit hungover the next day, Cam? La Linda?
I can drink.
Well, if it has less sugar, you would get a less of a hangover.
Well, it's 1 gram. I just find La Linda's not blended as well as the other one. Another one that is really good is called Mysterio. It's another $12, $13 wine. Malbec.
Cam, do you have a bronze pick? That's not La Linda.
Malbec wines.
Okay. So who's the team
We
that
can't grade that as a winner or loser until we try.
It's always a winner. If I bet Malbec all year instead of the fucking Titans and Panthers, I'd be doing quite well. I'm going to take the Titans with Rob, Pat, and I have another side bet with you, and I owe you $100. I'll take Carolina +6 against your Tampa Bay.
Done. You're committing me to bets I already like anyway. More free money for me. Here we go.
Yeah, you're not going to be paying me this month with the way I'm betting you.
Yeah, but you got your Christmas gift coming up, so you'll be
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
no problem. Rob, do you have a bronze pick?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with the Ravens. I'll take Ravens -3. I would much prefer a better number than 3, but in this particular matchup, I really think Philadelphia is going to struggle to run the ball. And that's the big thing for me because the Ravens have such a good run defense. You can't really move the ball on the ground on them. Devontae Smith, we don't know yet for the Eagles. But if this becomes a one-dimensional Jalen Hurts passing game, I know the Ravens secondary is not the best, but it's improving. And I just trust Baltimore's offense to move it on the Philly defense a lot more right now than I do vice versa. So that's that's it. I'll take the Ravens -3.
We were trying to figure out why Lamar dominates the NFC, and I thought that Cust actually had a pretty insightful point on it, is that Lamar is such a unique talent and the way that this offense runs that teams that don't see him very often just don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I
Fair
could see
enough.
that. Listen, if I was going to make a counterpoint, and this is contrary to my pick on Baltimore, I might say that the Eagles have the quarterback that he's not as explosive in the running game as Lamar is.
He's not as explosive in the passing game as Lamar is.
Not, but they have that type of quarterback that they practice against. It's not the same. It's not apples to apples. Lamar's way better than Jalen Hurts. But there is an argument that like maybe they see this in practice a lot. They know what's coming. I just think like the run game is so integral to the Eagles' success right now. And Barkley's had an amazing season. But Baltimore is such a stout run defense, and they have been all year. Even when they lost their nose tackle, they've still been fine. Even with Roquan Smith out, they've been okay. They find a way to stop the run, and that to me is a big factor when you're playing the Eagles.
Do you think that there's going to be a groundswell amongst non-analytically minded media members to make the case for Barkley for MVP? Because I've already seen a little bit of a groundswell for it, but just that can't happen, right? Barkley can't win MVP.
Allen's the MVP.
Allen is, first of all, Allen is definitely the MVP because take away Josh Allen from the Bills and they are nothing.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Take away A.J. Brown from the Eagles and how good have they done?
They would still be.
They'd still be all right.
Hey, he's missed 4 games this year. They're 2-2.
Yeah.
In the rest of the games, undefeated.
Sure. But I like the Eagles are still an above average team if A.J. Brown is hurt. The Bills are picking in the top 5 if it's Mitch Trubisky starting at quarterback. Right? Like if Saquon is not there and they have someone else in the backfield that's running for 1 less yard per carry, guess what? The Eagles are still going to be a really good football team.
I agree.
The case though, like it is real, Pat. Like media members will vote for Saquon to win the MVP. He's not dead by any means.
He has less of a case to be MVP than Justin Herbert does or Baker.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I'm in your boat, but I'm not talking about us.
Yeah.
Like media members get infatuated with like counting stats, right?
Well, then why isn't Joe Burrow in the case for Offensive Player of the Year then?
Joe Burrow should be, but it's his record. It's the team's record. Like there's all these moving parts that people just convince themselves, this disqualifies you from being elevated, being able to win this award because your team is like well below 500. Not very good. Well, I mean, I don't think it should. I think Joe Burrow's had amazing, but the problem
is fire.
Yeah,
it's not his fault.
But the challenge is so much of that production's come to Jamar Chase. So Jamar Chase is going to get a lot of the credibility or the respect in that market.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. All right, let's do a teaser before we get out of here. Any games, no Thanksgiving, but Black Friday counts, Cam. What game would you like to nominate for the teaser this week?
Did we win last week?
No, we did not. We had 2 teams that lost outright.
Wow, that's about right. Let's take... You guys don't like to cross zeros, right? With this Ram shit. What else do I got?
You can do. It doesn't matter what pick. It's your pick, Cam. You can make whatever pick you want, and it goes on.
I don't know what to do. I really don't.
All right, Rob, do you have a teaser?
Rob, please start. I'm sorry. I'm just I'm done.
This is very unorthodox. I typically would not do something like this, but I'll do it anyways. I will tease the Bills down.
I like it.
Bills down to 1. I will take the Buccaneers to a pick.
Just to spite me, eh?
I mean, it is my gold pick.
It is, and we're betting $50. I'm losing all these bets to you. I will take. You guys love the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
I would say love, but I like the Chargers.
They're not going to win by more than 8.
They might. They do win games by margin now. Shockingly enough, when they win.
It's your pick, Cam. You don't have. It doesn't matter if it's opposite.
Yeah, listen, I made it. I think I've lost the teaser like each of the past 3 weeks. So don't worry about what I'm doing.
Give me the Cardinals 9.5.
All right. Arizona plus 9.5. So to recap everything that we've done on this show, Bills -1, Tampa pick'em, Arizona plus 9.5 is the 6.3 leg teaser. The gold picks, Tampa, Tennessee, and Cincinnati. The silver picks, Houston, the Rams, and Kansas City. The bronze picks, the Chargers, the Ravens, and Tennessee. Tennessee is the only underdog spread team that has been picked on this show this week.
I would have taken Carolina, but
You're
we
not
already
allowed.
bet it.
And you're not allowed to take Carolina.
It's not allowed.
I'm allowed to wager on it, though.
Yeah, you can in real life.
You are
can
allowed.
wager
You're not
your-
telling me you can't bet on them in real life. Just for
Yeah.
the pick for the show.
No, I get it. I get it. You're right. Loser leave town match. And I would have had Tennessee would have been gone, but they won last week. So yes.
Yeah, you keep going back to the ball. They won you. I hope you sprinkled on the money line, Cam. Did you do
I
that?
did.
There you go.
Damn right I did.
I like it. All right, that will do it on the Best Bet Show. Code Mayo at Underdog to get yourself a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 plus a free pick, and a lot of specials going on in Underdog this week for Thanksgiving all the way to the 30th. You got profit boosts, tokens with free picks lodged in them for all sports if you want to do that. And if you're looking to deposit, there's a 50% deposit bonus if you're an existing customer at Underdog already. So, it's free money. You might as well take advantage.
I'll be better next week. I'm sorry. I'm just doing a lot of things. And I'm really tired.
It's all right. You were so good on the live show on Thursday morning, Cam, that no one even remembers.
What, you mean the one that's coming up tomorrow?
No, this show is coming out
Damn
after.
it. Trick me again. Okay, yeah, you're right. Anyway. He gone. I'm done.
All right.
He won the bet, too. What was the over-under?
It was 1.5. You beat it within
there it is,
5 minutes
two.
of the show. No,
You cover or you cover?
No, you already got. Yeah, you already had a few mentions in the first
really?
5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great,
Yeah.
great. Excellent work.
It
Ken.
was decided long ago.
What a fucking idiot I am. Okay, we're good.
All right, well, that will do it on the show. You sub and smash the like while you're here. Download the audio podcast if you got more travel on the go and you're moving around or trying to get away from your family, and share the show around. Tell your family members about it. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I'll see you next time.
That Mayo experience. Experience.